Chapter 10, Your First 90 Days, Thriving in the Ontario Workplace. Sections. Section 10.1, Navigating Office Etiquette, Meetings, and Communication Norms. Section 10.2, Building Rapport Across Generations and Earning Trust Quickly. Section 10.3, Managing Energy, Health, and Work-Life Harmony. Section 10.4, Proving Your Value and Setting the Stage for Growth. You have crossed the bridge. The resume worked. The interview convinced. The offer letter arrived, and you accepted with a mixture of joy and the quiet, fluttering question that lives in every newcomer's chest: can I really do this? Those first 90 days at a new job are like the first 90 days in a new country. Everything feels unfamiliar. The coffee machine operates by code. People speak in half sentences built on shared history you don't yet own. You wonder whether you are walking too fast or too slow, smiling too much or too little, talking with the wrong volume. This chapter is your steady companion through that tender, powerful window. It will not fill you with empty cheer. It will give you a map, practical, clear, and kind, so that by the end of your third month, you are not merely surviving but quietly, unmistakably, thriving. 10.1 Navigating Office Etiquette, Meetings, and Communication Norms. Ontario workplaces are courteous, but their courtesy has a particular rhythm. It is less formal than many other cultures and yet threaded with unspoken rules that can trip a newcomer who expects clear instruction. Let's translate the invisible. Meetings here are collaborative, not ceremonial. Your title may say manager, but in many Ontario offices, the newest intern is genuinely invited to speak. That doesn't mean you should dominate. Listen more than you talk in the first few gatherings. When you do contribute, frame your ideas as questions or bridges: could we consider, or I wonder if this connects to. That small linguistic shift signals respect for the group while planting your flag firmly in the conversation. Email is the bloodstream of Ontario business, and its tone carries hidden meaning. Short emails are not rude, they are efficient. A message that says, thanks, will review, is not a dismissal, it's an acknowledgement. Resist the urge to soften every line with excessive pleasantries. A clean, warm, and direct note reads as professional. Figure, with light background and high contrast, create image in landscape orientation best describe and represents the following: an illustrated flowchart showing the decision-making path of how to communicate in an Ontario office. Starting at the top, a question: is it urgent and needs a paper trail? One branch goes to email with an icon of an envelope and the note: be direct, add context. Another branch: is it quick and relational, leading to a chat message or stopping by a desk with a note: a 2-minute chat saves 10 emails. A third branch: is it sensitive or complex, leading to a phone call or face-to-face meeting with a note: voice tone matters. The design is clean, using soft blues and greens, with clear icons and text large enough for mature readers. The physical workspace has its own etiquette. The open-plan office, common in Ontario, rewards quiet self-regulation. Keep personal calls out of earshot. Use headphones for any video or audio. And never, ever microwave fish in the shared kitchen. That last one is half a joke, but only half. Canadian workplace culture values punctuality. Arriving 5 to 7 minutes early signals reliability. Arriving chronically late, even by a few minutes, can erode trust faster than almost anything else. If you are delayed, a quick email or text is not just polite, it is expected. 10.2 Building Rapport Across Generations and Earning Trust Quickly. You may be the only person in the room with grey hair and a grandchild's photo on your phone. That difference is not a wall, it is material for a bridge, if you use it with warmth and curiosity rather than self-consciousness. Start by learning names and roles swiftly. In your first week, write down a seating chart or a team map and add one personal detail beside each name: a hobby, a pet's name, a favorite lunch spot. This is not manipulation. It is intentional care, and care is the seed of trust. When speaking with younger colleagues, resist the urge to parent. Instead, become the wise aunt or uncle who genuinely wants to know how things work. Ask, "Can you show me how you organize this task? I'd love to learn your method." That sentence performs magic. It honors their expertise and reveals your humility, both qualities that fast-track rapport across a 30-year age gap. Figure, with light background and high contrast, create image in landscape orientation best describe and represents the following, a split illustration showing two bridges being built from opposite cliffs. On the left cliff stands an older figure with a hard hat labeled experience and steadiness. On the right cliff stands a younger figure labeled tech fluency and fresh ideas. The bridge is being built from both sides, meeting in the middle. Planks on the bridge are labeled with phrases, asked to be taught, share a story, not a lecture, acknowledge generational strengths, find common work values. The scene uses warm, collaborative colors, soft sunlight, and a sense of partnership rather than division. Trust in the Ontario workplace is earned not through grand gestures but through small, repeated acts of reliability. Deliver your piece of the group project a day before the deadline, even if you work through breaks. Admit quickly when you don't understand a software tool, and then sign up for a tutorial without being asked. These actions whisper, "I am serious about this team." One of the most powerful tools you carry is the refusal to gossip. In many cultures, never speaking ill of a colleague is a survival strategy. Here, it marks you as unusually high in integrity. When a conversation begins to tilt negative, you can say gently, "I'm still learning everyone's strengths, so I want to stay open." That single sentence will travel through the office grapevine and plant a reputation faster than any speech. 10.3 Managing energy, health, and work-life harmony. Full-time work at 60 or beyond is not the same as it was at 35. Your wisdom bank is overflowing, but your physical battery may drain faster, especially in the first months when you are performing a kind of emotional translation all day long. This is not a weakness. It is a design factor to manage with shrewd self-compassion. Begin by observing your energy peaks and valleys over the first 2 weeks. Are you sharpest at 9 a.m. and foggy by 2 p.m.? Then schedule your most demanding cognitive work in the morning and reserve afternoons for routine tasks that require less fresh thought. Figure, with light background and high contrast create image in landscape orientation best describe and represents the following, a simple, elegant energy management wheel diagram. The wheel is divided into 6 colored segments: sleep, deep indigo, nutrition, soft green, movement, bright orange, rest breaks, golden yellow, emotional connection, sky blue, and work focus, slate gray. Around the wheel are small, actionable icons, a moon for sleep, a water bottle and leafy vegetable for nutrition, a walking stick figure for movement, a clock with a pause symbol for breaks, 2 speech bubbles aligned for connection, and a magnifying glass on a document for focus. The title reads Your Weekly Energy Compass. The design is clean and encouraging, with a calming gradient background. The Ontario workplace increasingly respects work-life harmony, but this respect must often be claimed rather than offered. If your body needs a short walk at lunch to prevent stiffness, take it. If you require a slightly adjusted start time for a medical appointment, ask without apology. Frame it around performance. I've noticed I do my best work when I have a brisk midday walk. I'll still complete every task. Employers rarely resist what is framed as a productivity enhancer. Hydration, posture, and eye care become critical if you are screen-facing all day. Invest in a good water bottle that you actually like, position your monitor at eye level, and learn the simple neck stretches that can prevent weeks of physiotherapy later. These are not luxuries. They are the maintenance routines of a high-performance machine that happens to be 60+ years young. Finally, protect your sleep. The stress of adapting to a new workplace culture can bleed into midnight rumination. Create a shutdown ritual, a quiet cup of herbal tea, 10 minutes of gratitude journaling in simple English, and a hard stop on screens by 9 p.m. You are building a new life. That construction happens on a foundation of rest. 10 point for proving your value and setting the stage for growth. The first 90 days are your audition, yes, but they are also your laboratory. You are testing whether this organization deserves your long-term commitment just as much as they are testing your competence. Approach each week with the quiet goal of making yourself quietly indispensable. Identify a pain point and solve it without being asked. In a shipping department, perhaps you notice the packing labels are often miscoded. In an office, you might see that the team's shared calendar is a mess of conflicting appointments. Choose something small that plays to your strengths, your seasoned eye for process, your refusal to let chaos fester, and fix it gently. Then, mention it in passing to your supervisor, not as a boast but as a natural update. I tidied the calendar to save us time. Happy to adjust if needed. That moment plants the seed that you are not a cog, you are a contributor. Document your accomplishments weekly, in a private digital journal or a simple notebook. Not for the company, for you. After 90 days, you will have 12 or 13 entries of concrete value delivered. That document becomes the backbone of any future negotiation, performance review, or internal promotion conversation. It is also the antidote to imposter syndrome, which visits newcomers with particular cruelty. Setting the stage for growth means beginning to voice your career interests before the probation period ends. In week 10 or 11, request a brief meeting with your manager to reflect on your contribution and ask about future learning opportunities. Frame it with humility and ambition. I'm really enjoying this role. I'm wondering what skills I could develop over the next year to serve the team even better. This approach signals that you are not here to coast toward retirement, you are here to build something. Remember that your value in the Ontario workplace is not solely in the tasks you finish. It is in the calm you bring when a younger colleague panics over a client's harsh email. It is in the story you tell at lunch about a similar crisis in 1998 that ended up strengthening a team. It is in your refusal to leave early when something matters. These intangibles are rarely listed in a job description, but they are the reasons a manager decides, silently, we need to keep this person. A personal reflection before you step forward. I have walked alongside countless newcomers over 60 who entered their first Ontario workplace with a knot in their stomach and emerged 3 months later with a quiet, earned pride. One woman told me that her biggest fear was not the work but the loneliness of being the only person her age in a room. By day 90, she was the one the younger staff came to for advice, not because she forced her wisdom, but because she offered it like a warm cup of tea, in small, comforting portions. Another gentleman worried his accent would isolate him. He discovered that when he slowed down and used clear, simple phrases, people leaned in. The very quality he thought was a barrier became a signal of his thoughtfulness. Your first 90 days will be full of small fumbles and unexpected victories. You will mispronounce a colleague's name. You will accidentally reply all when you meant to forward. And you will also hear a supervisor say, "Good catch, thank you," and feel your shoulders drop an inch from their defensive position. Welcome all of it. The fumbles are proof you are trying. The victories are proof you belong. Figure mind map. Create a detailed mind map for Chapter 10, your first 90 days, thriving in the Ontario workplace. The central node is a calm, rooted tree with the chapter title. From the trunk, 4 main branches extend, each representing a section: 10.1 Navigating Office Etiquette, 10.2 Building Rapport, 10.3 Managing Energy, 10.4 Proving Value. Sub-branches under 10.1 include meeting participation style, email tone directness, punctuality norms, open plan behavior. Under 10.2, learn names and personal details, ask to be taught, refuse gossip, small reliable acts. Under 10.3, energy peak mapping, claiming breaks without apology, hydration, movement, eye care, sleep ritual. Under 10.4, solve a pain point unasked, weekly accomplishment journal, mid-probation career conversation, intangible value, calm, stories, steadiness. The visual style is organic, hand-drawn feel, soft earth tones and gentle greens, with icons at each node: handshake, bridge, compass, seedling. Include the phrase quiet, earned confidence as a glowing banner beneath the tree.